This next story, these stories sadden me more than any other. I want you to look at these mugshots. If I asked you what they have in common, you probably have difficulty coming up with it, but they're all teachers from Alabama accused of having sexual conduct with students. In fact, according to some, Alabama has the highest rate of teacher-student sexual relations in the country. Some lawmakers say enough's enough. So lawmakers have attempted to create a new bill that would require all teachers to take student-teacher sex prevention classes. The teachers would take an annual hour-long class on sexual and romantic contact, social media interactions. Obviously, I mean, it should just go without saying, if you're a teacher,
you should know better. You should know better. Exactly.
Sure, as a teacher, you have to be held to a higher professional duty, correct?
I mean, and before, if I may, look, first of all, I mean, what sort of screening and background checks are they doing in these teachers? If you have this sort of prevalent situation there, they're not screening these people properly. I mean, do you agree?
100%.
Come on.
100%.
Well, and why is it so easy now? Social media, once again.
There you go.
It's too easy for a teacher and a student to make that connection, to interact, to start a relationship.
Drew, this is rape. There is no consent. A young student, somebody under the age of 18, cannot make consent. So we're not talking about relationships and learning about sexual harassment. These are deviants, verging on pedophiles. I mean, I don't care how sexually mature a 16-year-old looks. As soon as he opens his mouth, that's a boy.
Yeah, they're boys. You may consider them men because they've gone through their sexual development, but a 16-year-old is still a boy.
Child.
Still a child.
So I'm curious, how can we prevent this from happening? Because apparently in this case, the senator who proposed the bill ended up abandoning it because there's a massive backlash. Since that time, a month after that bill was introduced and then I guess rescinded, there have been 3 more school employees arrested for this. So I'm just throwing it out there. How do we fix a problem like this, which is just devastating?
I think, first of all, teachers and students I shouldn't have, if I'm a teacher, I should not have my student's personal, IG account, because that's as if a teacher, an adult, is going to go hang out at a coffee shop with kids. That's where you hang out and do what you do. You don't belong there. So I think that, first of all, that should be it should be off the table.
So that should just be a
Absolutely
rule,
not.
no following of a student.
No following the student.
My kid's school has that. They're not allowed to communicate or be on the Facebook. Teachers are not permitted to even have social media accounts that the children can even see.
And that's the case. And not putting, Dr. O, not putting the onus on the parents, but I know kids like to be secretive. I don't want my mom to see my Facebook, my IG, my Snapchat, whatever. But that's where parents have to get in there. Not violate the kids' privacy, but there's a protection factor there as the parent.
There has to be better screening, starting with that, and then zero tolerance. Crystal clear that if this happens, if you start using social media, if there is contact with a student, boom, you're out.
I think that any new teacher nowadays, because of the ubiquitous nature of social media, 95% of teens are using it. I think there should be a class. It shouldn't be entitled How Not to Engage in Sexual Relations with Your Students, but it should be how to appropriately use social media, because clearly we all know that any teacher-student contact that's inappropriate is truly inappropriate. Yes. I think that we ganged up a little bit on Alabama here. This is happening across the country. We've had too many cases of this, whatever it takes. Anahita, I want to thank you for your insights on all this. Really wonderful comments.